folks, it's Bobby with KCA Homestead. I'm going to try to document a little project here. So this little hatchet is, I don't know, probably 100 and something years old. It belonged to my wife's grandfather, who came here from Czechoslovakia, and she inherited this little hatchet that she used to play with. And this drill bit, or two drill bits, and this draw knife. It's a two-handled knife for scraping boards and smoothing them out. I'm gonna try to refurbish some of this stuff for her for a little display. I think I'm gonna try a new product that I bought for my knives, which is Evapo-Rust. I'm just gonna have to find a container that this will lay down in. But the first thing I'm gonna do is use my grinder and a flap disc and maybe a wire wheel to get the loose rust off, just to make the Evapo-Rust chemicals more effective. So basically, I'm gonna start out with this flap disc, and if that doesn't do enough, then I'll move over to a wire wheel. I just don't want to scrape off too much and get down to too much bare metal. Just trying to remove the rust so then I can let it soak. I haven't even read the directions on this yet. Some of the knife channels I follow use this, and I'm gonna give it a try. I'll be back after I get ready to use the Evapo-Rust. Okay, did some pretty good cleanup on it with that flap disc. There's obviously some pitted rust, unfortunately, that the flap disc couldn't get to, but those brass pins came out pretty good. They're some type of compression pin that squeezes together, closes together, snaps together. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to salvage those. I'll try to find some more. If not, I've got some pins that I use for knives that I might be able to use. But got the majority of the loose rust off. Now I'm gonna find a container to lay this down flat with the Evapo-Rust and follow the directions. It may be overnight, it may be a couple days, I'm not sure yet. But I'll keep you updated. Hope you enjoy this project. Thanks for watching. All right, I'm gonna try this foil pan. Hopefully it'll work. This stuff is expensive, but it says it's reusable. I guess you just gotta maybe filter it. So we'll see. All right, I'm gonna leave it overnight. It says 12 to 24 hours for tough rust. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably come flip it over tonight before I go to bed or before I take a shower. That's about it. Have a good one. Well, before I call it quits, I want to use some of this penetrating oil. It's called Free All Deep Penetrating Oil. Mainly for freeing up rusted nuts and bolts, but I like to spray it on old stuff to just soak in there, kind of into the pores, if there is such a thing, on this pitted metal. So I sprayed both sides pretty heavily and just gonna let it soak in there, maybe overnight, and see what we got. Thanks for watching. Very rough, very rough. Still got some work to do. Calling it a day. Hey YouTube, been missing a few days of footage, but what I did was I put a new blade on my bandsaw here because it was not running true. And I tried to split one of these wood handles, looks like a hammer handle, down the middle. That went about as well as expected from a no-skilled woods crafter. But I did finally get two handles shaped and sanded roughly. I'm still working on it, but I decided to stop while I'm ahead. I was able to peen out, using the ball peen hammer, 2 pins through the handles to hold them on. Filled it in with some, well, various materials. It's ugly as homemade soap. I probably should have tried to grind out a recess for the tang of the hatchet, but it's temporary. I can always get these pins out and start over. I just wanted to practice on this. I've been rubbing some tongue oil, T-U-N-G, not spit off my tongue, but tongue oil, which soaks in pretty good and helps protect the handle. It's not the prettiest stain, it's just kind of a waterproofing type protective. It brings out the natural tone. Doesn't turn dark really, but I'll keep putting some more layers as this dries. But it looks pretty cool. This was my wife's little hatchet that she got from her grandfather, who most likely brought it from Czechoslovakia on the ship when he came from. And Mary D ended up playing with it as a kid. It had a wrapped leather handle that rotted off. The hatchet was pitted with rust. Got the rust off, but of course you can't really get the pits off unless you grind them off, and that just takes off too much metal. Anyway, like I said, ugly, but pretty cool. Mary was very happy to see some handles on it, and it's very sharp, actually. I'm gonna touch it up a little more, but that thing is dangerously sharp. Even though there are some pits there on the end. Very cool little hatchet. I couldn't find any markings on it, but I'm still working on it. And let's not forget what it looked like when we first started. Pitted with rust and dried out leather handles. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Didn't really do a whole lot of footage of me sanding and pinning all these handles because it was a mess. I'm not real happy with it because the handles aren't exactly identical or matching because of my poor bandsawing skills. But it's just something to do in my retirement days. I also just cleaned up 2 old-timer pocket knives too. No videos on those, but one of these is called the PAL, P-A-L. And one of them is just a little, called a Junior or Junior Stockman 3-blade knife. But I got those cleaned up, got the rust knocked off, got them oiled and polished. I'm gonna clean them up one more time and put them in my collector's case. Pretty cool knives. All right, thanks for watching. I'm gonna try to get this posted.